Thank you for joining us and welcome to Wiz Files. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into the video.
These people evolved to live on the ocean. The Bajau people found on the waters of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines lived their entire lives on houseboats. It's understood they've retained this lifestyle for around 1,000 years. They spend most of the day diving into the ocean, hunting fish and other sea creatures. But here's where things get really interesting. They can hold their breath underwater for up to 13 minutes and dive as far down as 60 meters. Due to the pressure of the water that far down, some actually pierce their eardrums, which is actually really bad for them. Some of them go deaf. Now, the reason they're able to hold their breaths underwater for so long is because they evolved larger spleens in comparison to other humans, providing more oxygen to their blood. Their spleens tend to be at least 50% larger than ours. Isn't that interesting?
The strangest fact about each zodiac sign. Okay, firstly, it's scientifically proven that if you're a Gemini, you're good at lying. So the next time you're around a Gemini, you might not want to believe everything they say. Alright, next, if you're a Taurus, the strangest fact about you guys is you all are known to be stalkers. The scary thing is, you might never know they're doing this. Now, this one creeps me out. Out of all the signs, Scorpios are the ones who have the most dark and creepy thoughts. But my question is, what do you all be thinking about? Well, if that wasn't bad enough, Cancers are proven to be the most dangerous. They get arrested the most, and the crimes are usually pretty serious. I'm sorry to say, but if you're a Leo, it's proven that you guys are the worst drivers. Finally, this is probably the most unusual fact of them all. If you're an Aries, it's said that you are obsessed with death. This just doesn't sit right with me.
Here's 3 things you need to understand about polar bears. They're one of the few animals that will actively hunt humans, as in track you down and put you on a meal prep if they're desperate enough. And unlike other bears, polar bears are hypercarnivores, meaning they don't do the bugs and berries thing. Now, for them, it's all meat all the time. Which leads to the next fact, and it's that they're bloodhounds on steroids. A polar bear can sniff out a seal for well over 10 miles, and they can even smell one through 3 feet of ice. They'll smell you long before they see you, which is why if you do see a polar bear, it's probably already too late. There's a good chance it's been plotting on you for a minute. And number 3, studies say one way to survive a polar bear encounter is to remove articles of clothing and drop them one at a time. That way the Caucasian killer will get distracted and stop to examine them. Which sounds great until you remember, you can't outrun, outswim, or even dig deep enough to hide from one. And they live in hell frozen over. So you either get to freeze to death and die naked, or wait for the bear to eventually track you down like Liam Neeson. Moral of this video, if it's black, attack. If it's brown, get on the ground. If it's white like the president, you finna be heaven sent.
This girl started going blind until scientists discovered.
Horned lizards squirt blood from their eyes. The Devil's Bible is a real book. If the sun exploded, you would not know about it for 8 minutes. 20% of children report hearing voices.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you, part 2. A French president died from a blowjob. My man Felix Faure literally got his soul sucked out of him. He was both coming and going. The deadliest female serial killer in American history had murdered 35 people with an axe by the time she was 18 years old. When the ruler of Poland, Jadwiga, was considering a marriage proposal from the Grand Duke of Lithuania, her peers were worried because it was rumored that he had massive genitals and would kill his wife on the wedding night. They ended up sending 2 spies to Lithuania to find out if it was true, and they came back and happily reported that there was nothing to worry about. Powdered wigs were originally invented to cover up head sores caused by syphilis. The first person to examine semen under a microscope was Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the father or daddy of microbiology.
Urban legends caught on camera. The rape.
Alright, that first video, I don't know. That one looked pretty scary. But the second video, that the little dude on the cliff, that's some guy that did some what is it, like a little project for his school or his college that he went to. So fake on the second one for sure. Okay. First off, that was a weak ass urban legend. Okay, I just want to say that. And the only thing I could think of, did you see the little filter that was like around him? Wasn't quite, oh, damn. Edit that out. It wasn't quite perfectly around him. I'm just thinking, man, I wish I had hair like that. Lucky. I think we've all, as fellas, known a woman that is a hona, whatever the fuck that bitch was called. Whoa!